Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Srinivasa Biology Tutorial. For this section to discuss about NCERT class 12, the sexual reproduction in flowering plants, part 7. Most of the plants by the time of the fruit developed from as an ovary, other floral parts they complete what happened, they get degenerate as in a fall off. So sometimes that after fertilization, the other parts will be get degenerate either in a fall off. Next, however, there are few species such as in a apple, strawberry, cashew, etc. The thalamus also contributes to the formation of fruits. So when you are eating as in a the strawberries, apples, and cashew nuts, we are eating at what? It is in a fleshy thalamus. We are eating about as in a fleshy thalamus. Such fruits are called as in a false fruit. Those fruits are called as what? False fruit. And most fruits, however, the development of from the ovary is called as in a true fruits. So ovaries develops, that is in a completely called as in a true fruits. Although in the most of the species, fruits are in a result of fertilization, there are a few species when you observe. See, this is a complete the cotyledons, monocotyledon, dicotyledon seeds. They given here. It is in a scutellum part. This is strawberry. These are the next. Which is the which fruits developed without fertilization. So here in which fruits developed from without fertilization, such fruits are called as in a parthenocarpic fruit. So without fertilization to get formation of fruits is called as what? Parthenocarpic fruit. In banana, in some examples, the parthenocarpy is they're included through as in the approaches, the applications of the growth hormones, and in such fruits are seedless. So some seedless fruits also we are noticed like as in grapes like. And seeds offer several advantages to the angiosperms. The first, since their reproductive process such as in the pollination and fertilization are independent of water. So pollination, fertilization is completely independent. The seeds formation more they are dependable. It is also seeds have is in a better adapt to the strategies of in a dispersal of new habits and the help species to colonize on their areas in the specific the result as any foods. And young seedlings the completely nutrition until they are completely they are capable to photosynthesis on their own. So sometimes their photosynthetic pigments is present, they prepare their own food material. And then here the odd seed coat they provide as a protective to that in a young embryo. So some protective layers also to get form as in that help you as in to get protection. Beginning the provides next to the beginning the products of the sexual reproduction, they are generating new genetic recombinations leading to as in variations. So when the sexual reproduction takes place, what happened? They show as in different variations. Next, the seed is a here the seed is in a basic our the agriculture, the dehydration and the dormancy of the mature seeds. They are crucial for the storage of seed, which can be used to food through as in that years and also rise crop the next seasons. Can you imagine the agriculture, the absence of the seeds, the presence, they are completely the presence of the seeds which germinates, they strike away the soon after the formation of cannot be the stored. So here when you are using as a dormancy conditions, then only that a number of the seeds get used as in for this year, next year, like the complete germination will be there going on. So if in case the dormancy is not possible, here number of species we can't store that in that our agriculture purpose. Okay, like next, however long do the seeds remain alive after they are in a dispersal? So after when the dispersal, what happened, that dormancy is not there, they are completely alive. This period again the completely varies gently, and in a few species or seeds lost viability few months, that some ended the seeds or some pollen grains they have viability in only few months. Like send you here examples, seed of the large number of species alive in several years, in some can be alive only 100 years. Like Here there are the several records very old at their viable seeds, and oldest they are in a lupin and lupinus and the arceticus, they're exactly from in a Arctic, the Arctic tundra. So in the Arctic tundra regions, also the number of species we are seeing. And the seed germinated flowers are in a that estimated records in a complete 10,000 years dormancy. So some seeds they having 10,000 years dormancy period. Then only they get they break the seed dormancy and that germinates. And it recently records 2,000 years old viable seeds is in a the like as a date plant, as in a Phoenix the Dectaferra discovered during the in a archaeological evaluation. Their king Harvard, the place nearby the Dead Sea. So near the Dead Sea, the one scientist they developed as in a the identified as a dead plant species after the 12,000 years. Okay, next. After completing here, after completing before the coconut, the sexual reproduction of the flowering plants would be their worth the attempting to confront to enumerate the reproductive capacity than some flowers plants asking the following questions. So when you observe as any the number of the flowers to get participate in the reproduction, say the sexual reproduction, the number of enumerous amount of the plants to get having a capacity to get produced as in a the enumerous that pollen grains or whatever that gynoeciums. However, many eggs are present on the embryo sac. How many embryo sacs are present in ovule? Here the number many, and how many the ovules are present in a ovary. The different types of ovules are will discuss: marginal, axial, parietal, central, precentral, and basal like. How many ovaries are present in the typical ovule? Ovules, the different types of ovules, orthotropous, anatropous, campylotropous like. And how many the flowers are represented as the tree? The different sometimes they having like only one kind of flowers is present. Sometimes in a two different kinds of the flowers also present, and so on. Can you think that some plants which fruits contain is very large number of seeds? Orchid fruits are only one such category of each fruit contain as in a thousands of tiny seeds. So in some seeds contain as in a only one, some fruits as in a single fruit, single seed, and some they having number of seeds as present. Similar is in a case of the fruit of some in a parasitic species such as in that Orobanichi and the Striga. Here Orobici and the Striga, it is in a completely they are in a the parasitic species. These two are completely in a parasitic species. Have you seen that in a tinny they are seeds in a ficus? In the ficus bengalensis fruit, you notice there is a number of tinny seeds, and have a large tree of the fucus developed from as in the tinny seeds. The plant is very big, but they produce only tinny seeds. How many that billions of seeds does each their fig tree produce? Can you imagine any other example which the tiny structure can produce a large in a biomass over the year? So when you see that in that mostly the fewer species to get produced as a number of their seeds, tiny seeds are produced. Okay. Next one is the apomixis and polyembryonic condition. See, what is that in a apomixis process? What is in a polyembryonic process? See, all through the seed, the general or in produce the products of fertilization. Few flowering plants, such as in some species like Asteraceae grassi, their grasses have evolved the species the mechanism. When you see as in the species mechanism to produce the seed without fertilization is called as apomixis. So they produce seeds but without fertilization. Here, without fertilization to get formation of seeds, that is called as an apomixis. What fruit produced without fertilization? Those apomixis, the asexual reproduction, the mix of sexual reproduction. These are a part of the asexual reproduction, but we discuss in that in a mix of sexual reproduction. There are the several ways of development that apomictic seeds. In some species, that in a diploid egg cell formed without their reduction division, it is developed into embryo without fertilization. Often you see as in a many the citrus and then here varieties mango varieties. Some of the nuclear cells surrounded as in the embryo sac, the start they are dividing, the producing it as an embryo sac developed into as an embryos. So it is produced as in the number of embryos. Such as species ovules contain as in many embryos. So sometimes ovule contains many embryos as present in such a, then the one embryo single seed referred as in a polyembryonic condition. More than one or more than one embryo is present, more than one embryo is present, that is called as a polyembryonic condition. Take out in some species in like as in orange and they are completely squeeze them. They to completely observe as in that many embryos different size of shapes from each seed. You see as in that completely different their seeds we are noticing. Count the number of the embryos of each seed. Okay, let us count it. What would be the in a genetic nature of in apomixis embryos? Can you they are called as colonies. So when you observe it as in a best example in the apomixis, that is in a grapes, without fertilization to get formation of what completely in that apomixis process without fertilization. Next, hybrid varieties of the several of our food and the vegetable crops or at the beginning the extensively the cultivated. So the several species vegetables we are cropping, we are using as in a most the hybrid varieties we are developing. Here cultivation of the hybrids has in the they are completely traditional say they increased as in productivity, we can develop as in productivity. And one of the problem the hybrids it is the hybrid seeds have only produced every year. So when completely we are using as in a that hybrids, what happened every year to get produced, and the seeds are collected from the hybrids in a stone plants in progeny will be there in a segregate and is do not maintain hybrid characters. So when comes as in generation to generation, what happened? It is there enter the yield they comes, but that characters will be the not obtained. Next, the production of the hybrid seeds costly and hence their cost of hybrid seeds becomes that expensive for as any farmers. So every time they purchase, what happened is the farmers also that is completely seeds are expensive. These hybrids are the made up of as in apomictes. There are in no segregation and characters of the hybrids progenies. So without any segregation, we developed as in hybrid progenies. Then the farmers can keep or using that in hybrid seeds, rise new copy years by year to year does not have any the buy hybrid seeds every year. So once you they uptake as in seeds, there no requirement of every year to purchase the DNA and the seeds, because their importance of the apomixis hybrid seeds in the industry. So when you are using as this type of any apomixis in the industry, they can easily to develop as any the new species and achieve the any research in the going on in many the laboratories around the world to the understanding the genetics apomixis and the transfer it is in a apomictic genes into hybrid varieties. So when we are using as a transfer of the genes from in one species to another species when cultivated to be developed as a number of species. Okay, this is incompletely the sexual reproduction in flowering plants chapter. Okay, the remaining to discuss in next class. Thank you for watching.